this room, there were like 10 folks. And I can live with disappointing 10 folks at a time. Now this hall is all filled. And good that I'm not wearing an Apple Watch, because then it would give me notification your heart rate is out of bounds, even though you're not working out. Is everything all right? And I would say, no, nothing is all right. I mean, the most amazing minds of AI in India is here to listen to this nachis. Obviously, very, very exciting. Okay, there will be the slides would be there. And this area is for me. Cool. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I'm a little nervous because so the team was troubling me whole night. Sir, send the slides, please. Send the slides, please. I was working on the slides till 3 a.m., trying to put everything I'm excited about on this, cutting down things, adding things, 80 slides, a lot of work to do in the next 30 minutes, and already she has taken like 10 minutes of my time. So I know her jokes were bad, but my jokes are good. You can laugh on my jokes, yes? Yeah. See, you want, guys, please give a clap for me. You see, there's a reaction here. You have to work. You have to work for it, okay? So why am I so nervous or excited about this is because let's start going to this. Who am I? I am many people. I am a husband to my wife. I am a teacher. I am an entrepreneur. I am not a scientist. I don't have any knowledge in machine learning. I don't write academic papers. Little bit of lie there. I do write some papers, but I'm not like you guys. I'm not a machine learning specialist in any form or shape. But I'm very, very excited about engineering, building things at scale. At Microsoft, I worked on Teams. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. Then I worked on Outlook. Sorry again. And like huge pieces. Then I went into entrepreneurship, built Metaversity. So I strive on the cutting edge engineering scale pieces and get very excited about things. I'm also a teacher. I have close to 500,000 followers. And I was telling myself, dude, your videos get like so many views. Why are you so nervous about it? But those are students. You guys are like bosses of the field already, right? So little bit that. This was the question with which I went into AI. From last one and a half year, we are hearing about how AI is going to change everything. And we are hearing about classic Indian cribbing that we can't do shit in AI because we don't have the GPUs. We can't do SOTA models here, frontier LLMs here. That's a billion or like maybe like a $500 billion question these days. So me being someone who has a lot of curiosity in the field, went into AI with this question. Yeah, no wealth. Uh, when the roads are so bad, how can we expect government to invest in AI? Sorry, too soon? At least we are not Gurgaon, guys. I mean, at least not that bad. Come on. Right? Yeah, so we don't have this. So what do we have? I started reading papers, anything which I could read, anything which I could get my hands on, started trying to build something, looking for India's liver. And this is where I went that, bigger wasn't always better. And this comes from a lot of my own engineering side, experience, is because when I was at Microsoft, we had like Outlook Web, which was used by 100 million users. And it was a huge app, web app. And then there as well, I wanted that there is, those five, I mean, you guys are very, very rich, but there are phones which are 5,000 rupees, feature phones, geo phones. Like people you don't see, they have those phones. Like, do you guys know there are these feature phones? Yes. Come on, nod at least. Yes, I'm a teacher. I need some participation, guys. Yeah, come on. Huh? So I created a 10 KB Outlook for it, like 10 KB, that small. We shipped it to folks there, and it was nice. So there is this thing going on. And then when we built Metaverse, we built it on less than 8 MB on web, so that you don't have to download like 500 MBs or GBs of installer for it. So I feel that sometimes small was smarter, and with that same hypothesis went into AI. And I think there's a meta lesson here, right? Like this paper, attention is all you need, changed everything. Let's, for the next few minutes, pay attention to small language models, SLMs. So all I need from you today is attention and a little bit of energy. I mean, there were 3 halls. You chose this hall. I don't know why, right? But if you did, at least participate, right? So that's all I need. I need your attention for the next 35 minutes of this talk. And all I promise is when you go out of this talk, you will have at least one thing more in your option set. Okay, whether we want to do SOTA, whether we want to do AGI, whether you want to do something else, that's okay. But having one more tool in your tool chain is always going to help you. And I'm going to make a case for it. Don't take my words for it. I will dissect my own thinking with you here. But before getting into it, what are SLMs? Before that, words have power, right? Like one thing which we have learned recently is words have power. They have a semantic meaning. When you think about something, there is a word cloud. When you think about Gurgaon these days, you think about drowning. When you think about Bangalore these days, you think about buses tripping, right? Traffic. Oh, you guys didn't know the school bus tripped? Yeah, that was a big deal. You didn't know. Oh, Bangalore, and you don't know this. There was a Panathur road, and the bus was like this, and the school kids were like this, right? So now when you have, yeah, oh my God. I am so sorry to ruin your morning, but this happened like a few days back. So when you look at these words, you have these images. So when you look at SLM as small, you have this image, right, in your mind, which is like weaker, cheaper, less capable. Like, बच्चू है यार, उधर बैठ जा तू. Let the grown-ups, let the LLMs talk. Let the SOTA talk. Let us make AGI. What is this? This is something I don't want you to take away from this talk or even get into it. Small is not weak. Small is not useless. Small is not compromise. So let's shift the word, the SLM word in our minds first, which is, let's say SLM is strategic. Small is just a feature. It's not a bug. The real point here is strategic deployment, and I'm going to talk about deployment a lot because, again, engineer, I don't understand the math of KQV. What is that? Oof. I don't understand multi-head attention and things like that. Like, I'm throwing words just to sound smart. I don't understand most of it, but I understand engineering part of this. So I'm going to talk about deployment a lot, but just let's rename it. Small is a feature, fewer parameters, easier to train. Train is still okay, but easier to retrain and easier to adapt. Easier to adapt is something I'm going to run through with this entire thing. Cheaper to host and run. We like that. India likes that. We don't need mega data centers for it. You don't need like a city-wide data center to train this, build this, deploy this, inference, nothing. You can run a meaningful model on a modest hardware here. And again, I mean, somewhere is it? SLMs won't deliver AGI tomorrow, but who will? I don't know. Let's place bets. I don't know. Like the jury is still out. GPT-5 was supposed to be, oh my God, moment for entire AI. It's good, but still no AGI on the horizon. So I don't want to chase something which is far away into the future. I want to do something which is practical and now. What can we do with AI for India today? SLM give us an answer. I'll walk you through it. It's practical, affordable, deployable. Before we get into SLM, what qualifies as an SLM? Like I was just coming right now and I was reading a research paper. Yeah, I do read it sometimes, at least the abstract part. And I saw someone saying 37 billion model and they were classifying it as SLM, but the scale is moving. So for this purpose, for our talk purposes, we call 100 million to 7 billion parameters as small. because the SOTA models are running at 175 and even closer to a trillion now. So again, reminder, yes, small is not weak, small is strategic. Ready? You are with me? There are examples across range. You have 100 million to 500 million parameter models which are doing great in routing embedded agents. You have 1 billion to 3 billion which are doing great on edge apps. And there are 7 billion models which were very powerful but still deployable. Okay? And don't take my word for it. I mean, who am I? Nothing. I can just get some laughs out of you. But even that is something right now. But don't take my word for it. Microsoft is on it. Amazon is on it. Apple is on it. It's shipping SLM to your phone. Google has shipped SLMs to your phone. Google is on it. ByteDance is on it. DeepSeek is on it. Alibaba is on it. They have all published papers. They have all published, like Microsoft's Fee 2, Fee 3, Fee 4, the Fee series actually changed the game with the tiny stories. I mean, if you want to read the paper, Tiny Stories is a beautiful paper from where there the whole game for SLM start. But they are all on it. So it is not me as, like, it's not my foundation model hallucinating to find out an answer. Looks like there are a lot of people out there who are working on this. Big companies, big teams. It's not a fringe research. It's not just for startups. Every big player today is investing in SLMs. Are SLMs good? How good? I mean, don't take my word for it. Let's see. This model, Fee 3 mini model, 3.8 billion, comparable on some benchmarks. Again, a large language model is good at many things. A strategic language model or an SLM is good on one thing, but really good at that thing if you trained well. So this model basically challenged GPT 3.5 to some extent. I mean, come on, it's impressive. Fee 2, 25x larger model, beats sometimes. I don't really see the beating part very necessary. I just see there's capability in this idea because benchmarks, the benchmark games are, honestly, I'm not a fan of it. But these models are doing really, really well. This one I haven't tried yet, but it says it beats or it matches SOTA on tool calling, outperforming GPT-4. I mean, even making these claims from a company like Salesforce, it's not a small claim to do, right? So definitely worth checking it out. The 0.5 version I checked, it's actually better. This one is a retro model, GPT-3 level performance with just 7.5 billion parameters. Not visible, no? So good that I had. This is not visible. Yeah. What changed? Now, here is the million-dollar question. If I'm saying that at 2, 3, 4 billion parameters, the game has changed, then why did we go for like 100 and 500 billion parameter models, like scaling laws and whatnot? We built all of our hypotheses on this. So what changed? I mean, if this was truth, what I just said, then GPT-2 was good enough. GPT-2 had 1.5. Why didn't it dominate? A lot of things have changed since then. So let's take a quick understanding of how SLMs are trained today and why they are so effective at such lower parameter range as well. Again, feature, that's a feature. GPT-2 is 40 GB. The problem with this was it was noisy web crawl. I think everybody here understands what web crawl is, what web crawl data is, right? So the game here changed when people realized, when they published these papers, they realized that you can train an LLM or language model in that case on unstructured data, and it will learn few things. It will learn things. There will be emergent properties, and that will be intelligent in its own right. Or think of this. We can let a kid go out and say, experience the world as much as possible, full day, come back, and you might have learned something if you are exposed to, say, this for 1,000 days. Or the education model, wherein a teacher teaches the kid what to learn, how to learn. So this is called textbook style training, right? You have a very curated set of data. This is what you need to learn. And on that, when these folks, these big folks started training, they started achieving these results. So the big change in mind shift was from web crawl to textbook style training. So nod what kare yaar. Am I making some sense? Yes. This makes sense. Even in common sense, it makes sense that, going across learning everything versus a teacher, a private teacher, a private trainer teaching you something, you learn faster, obviously. You learn with minimal data. So that is what has changed. Not just that. So this is what textbook quality synthetic data. I didn't get too much into the clinical camel model, but this model, if you want to look into it, I don't understand medicine that much, but they trained a medicine model at much lower parameter count, which performed much better than the current SOTA models. Very interesting. Couldn't get time to get into it, but definitely worth checking out. You don't need 1 trillion tokens if half are garbage. Smaller but sharper data sets win. So my hypothesis here is data curation is going to be the new scaling law. And again, I'm not saying dismiss AGI, don't do AGI. I'm saying do what you can do today. For $200, for $500, you can fine tune a small language model, make something out of it, which is very useful. The way I went into this was I wanted to make a tutor for kids who are in low yield schools, like sub 20,000 rupees per year fees. And can they learn math on edge? Like they don't need a GPU, just a 2 GB model running on a computer lab. And can they learn math through Socratic model? That was my interest getting into this. And I am close to it. I haven't published it yet. I haven't released it yet. But there is at least some possibility of doing something. Instead of sitting and thinking, either we can do agent where we do prompt, all sorts of prompt wizardry, right? How to inject context in prompt, how to summarize. Or we can also learn how these models work, train our own pieces, fine-tune our own pieces, curate our own data sets, think about data pipelines ourselves, build some technological muscle inside. That is all I'm trying to say here, not dismissing AGI. Even this happened, right? These architectures are better. I'm trying to read around these things. I don't know half of this, but KV caching, these modern SLMs, GPT-2 was pure vanilla transformer, the one which you read in books today, like that archaic. The new training models are much better. So you have better data sets, better training models, better KV caching now. So all of that makes it much better than GPT-2. Better recipes, yes. Okay. So SLMs are not GPT-2 redux. There's cleaner data, there's evolved architecture, there's smarter training, and that equates to strategic power in SLMs. Cost advantage. Is this really cheap? Yes, it is. So you can serve a 7 billion model, which can do one job really well, 10 to 30x cheaper than the 70 billion, 175 billion model. Cheaper from data center, faster inference, obviously less energy. So energy is a big problem across the SOTA model deployments and trainings, right? Thank you so much for nodding. You guys are very nice. Thank you. I need that nod. I'll start looking at this side of the class, and you guys have to nod now. Okay? Yeah, thank you. See, Miss Tripathi, people respond.
If that is what you call a response, Mr.
Okay,
Pratap.
I will get a clap also when I finish the talk.
You guys, you better clap for me too.
I'm not promising a very hearty clap, but there will be a clap when I finish this talk.
We all have our dreams, Mr. Pratap.
So, new skills overnight. One thing which is amazing, which I am very amazed about this, is you can retrain these pieces, you can even fine-tune these pieces in GPU hours. So basically the constraint of not having GPU, and that's why you're not getting into language models, architecture. I see that getting lifted, at least for me mentally. And then it can run on phones, it can run on consumer GPUs, it can run private, offline, and fast. And I'll show you some examples of that as well. Yeah, one model in your pocket, 10x cheaper, 100x closer, can host it anywhere. Even like my plan was to host it inside a lab of a school so that everybody can use it. You don't have to go to a cloud and come back and incur those traffic, cloud, everything cost. Huh? And 1000x more personal. This part, I'll come back to it again. But personal does not only mean from a consumer perspective. Think personal from your team perspective, your org perspective, your like billing, sales, marketing, your customer support, that perspective. Like you know your problems much, much better than ChatGPT. So personal has a lot of financial value if we pay attention. I have clever wordplay, amazing. Nod. Yes, clever wordplay. So if you pay attention to this word, there's financial value to this. Oh, people are taking notes. Oh my God. इतना भी अच्छा नहीं है. So yeah, media silence. Why are we not hearing, Mr. Nadella, who also happens to be alumni from my college, Flex, and Sundar Pichai and other folks talking about it. Like, there should be, if I'm saying this, there should be people talking about it. Why not? I have a theory. You have spent so much money into something so big. Why would you talk about something which everybody can deploy, they can make their own? Bigger is better, story sells, right? Yeah, bigger is better, story sells. Comfortable? Yeah. And as Ram Kapoor said, right, that bade अच्छे लगते हैं. So, come on, guys, ये तो अच्छा joke था यार. You haven't heard about that serial? All only Tarak Mehta fan here. No other, no क्योंकि सास भी कोई बहू थी. No, okay. So bigger is better, story sells because they have spent so much money. Obviously, they have to talk it up, they have to hype it up a lot. SLMs don't fit this storyline. Everybody wants big AGI game. If you want to read, I wanted to include that in this talk, but I couldn't because of the time constraint. But if you want to read about it, you can read about the AI Plus initiative in China. It's very interesting from a SOTA LLM perspective, but also from an SLM perspective. What they are trying to do is they are trying to integrate AI at all levels in their industries. And if we try that, even if this room just goes and explores it a little bit, like how can I fine-tune a small model, give it to my customer support team, see whether it performs better than the SOTA models or not, we can do that. I mean, I don't want to sound anti-government, but how much can we expect when the buses are tilting? Now you know, right? So this is, again, a big theory. When I talk about AI on YouTube and everywhere, I get thrashed left and right. Because I don't see AI replacing humans. I see AI augmenting humans to do their job better. And that's where the bigger AGI story, the billion-dollar, trillion-dollar story doesn't fit. Because if you say 10% increment, 20% increment in workforce productivity, who will pay you billions of dollars? Huh? Do something else. Right? So obviously they have to come up with a big story that everybody will be replaced, we will all have UBI, universal basic income and whatnot. I think, I mean, there are buyers to that. I want you people to buy this. Not little bit, thank you. Yeah. But people notice. Enterprises are experimenting with on-device AI, regulators, especially in Europe. Kuch to unka izzat hai. We got Type-C because of Europe on iPhones. See, first world problems. So, Europe regulators are pushing for privacy first. And I see a lot of this happening. Like developers also, even engineers who understand a little bit about machine learning, a little bit about LLMs, they are basically fine-tuning a small model on their repository so that they can do better inference on their repository. Personal, remember, cheaper, it's cheaper. And I don't know how many of you have seen people cribbing about Claude Code these days. Nobody? Okay, one person. So I'll tell you a story. I was like a power user of Cloud Code. I was paying $200 a month for that because it was giving me that productivity. And suddenly they have started cutting down a lot, and it's barely usable these days. Like I spend 2-3 hours and I run out of credits every day. So inference costs at these SOTA models are getting higher because VCs are also not subsidizing it. Remember, how many of you remember, like, I don't know how many of you are old enough. Like, you look old. That's a commentary on our health. But 2012, 2015 timeline, uh, Ola was saying, why buy a car when you can go 1 kilometer for rupees 8 or rupees 5? Remember this? Yes? Oh, this was so much response for Ola. We all feel cheated there. Sorry, Bhavish. So we all, and now what's the situation of Ola and Uber today? Like, you have to buy a car or a bike, or if Rapido gets, again, very low world problems, we are first world people, forget who talks about Rapido in this conference. But that is the problem, right? When VCs stop subsidizing things, we start facing the real cost of this. And that's where I think people will start noticing SLMs. All I'm saying is, give some time to this in your mind, start investing, start exploring a little bit. Anybody knows this guy? He's very, very famous, by the way. No? Paras Chopra, Lost Funk founder? Few folks, cool. So he was playing with small language models. I think it's not readable, I'll read it. Small language models give me warm, fuzzy feelings. Google dropped this 270 million model Gemma, and it's absolutely wild how coherent and fast it is on my phone. Obviously, he's using iPhone 16 Pro Max at this point of time. So, locally installed, chatting without internet, and he's chatting with a local model on his phone. So, I found it interesting. Hype will catch up. SLMs equals to the quiet revolution is what I'm saying. Oh, people are taking notes. What is noteworthy here? Now, let's do part 2, utility. I hope I have convinced you enough till now that SLMs are worthy of a look at least. Like next 10-15 minutes, when you go home, you want to fire a Jupyter notebook or whatever you do, and try something like this. Like you can download a Quen 0.5 billion model, try to fine tune it on whatever data you have. Like, you will do something, right? So let's now talk about the utility part. Like, what are things I think where it will work out very well. First thing is, there will be a culture shift. Labs chase leaderboards, biggest model wins, progress is parameters. This is what you read remember last 2 years, every release, as a user, you would have felt, theek hai. It's more like now iPhone releases. Like, yes, there's something flashy, but do I really need to update or upgrade for it? So that is the feeling we are getting from at least last 2 years. And in AI, aged 2 years is a lot of time, right? Running out of time. I want to talk so much. This is what I've been stressing about. Can it solve my problem tomorrow? Think about whichever team you are working with. They have their own data. They have their own problems. They have their own chats. They have their own docs. The lingo of that team is different. Some people say action item. Some people's action. AI can mean action item in a lot of teams. Yes? No? Yes. So, and then somewhere we say chill Madi boss and these things, and then somewhere we start talking in English, somewhere we start introducing our own product keywords. So there's a lot of personalization happening inside each team, inside each function of your company, right? So whenever the model fails, the SLM model fails, your question should be, can it solve my problem tomorrow? Which you are doing today with an LLM. via prompt engineering, because that's the only lever you have. You can have more levers, is all I'm saying. Overnight fine tunes is what adapters make tuning light. Again, within hours, you will get a new model deployed tomorrow morning, tested again. It will be like the CI/CD age of AI. I would love that. New skills overnight. You will tune it on internal data sets. Even getting those, what do you call, those approvals would be much easier. Boss, we are not going to take this data outside. Don't worry about it. Right? We will clean up. The PII will be cleaned up. Don't worry about it. Not sending it to ChatGPT. Don't worry about it. Private custom practicals. And this is the part I was saying earlier. Mirrors of org knowledge. What you know already will be embedded inside the model rather than you providing it in context and incurring costs of that every time, because it has no memory. So you just add the chat and then send again and hope, oh God, please. इस बार सही आंसर दे देना यार, right? You have seen this pain, right? I'm not the thank you for nodding. So I'm not the only person who's struggling with this. Okay, data is moat, not petabytes of junk web crawl, curated, clean, and contextual. Scaling law equals to data discipline. So every company, from my hypothesis, everywhere you, me, everyone will start collecting better data. Like I'm collecting better data now because I want to train that tutor thing which I talked about, the math tutor. So when I chat with folks, I see how I want to talk about, how I want to get back into something. You don't understand this problem, maybe do another problem which is much simpler, things like that. So data is going to be the moat. New teams, few ML researchers. No. So I think this is the first time someone is saying job loss on the other side, right? Flipping the script completely. Few ML researchers, more ML ops, data engineers, toolsmith. The metric should change or will change, because you all saw that MIT study, 95% not working, like agentic AI not working. How many of you saw? Thoda sa आवाज हल्ला कुछ तो करो यार. हाँ, a lot of people saw. So for someone who didn't hear about the bus and this study, I'm sorry. So there was this study around 95% of enterprise deployments of AI are failing. MIT did that survey. The stocks tanked after that a little bit, right? Why? Because whatever is working on benchmark need not work in your production system. My argument is, through this, we can try it, it might work. Useful is more than art, less about citations, more about outcomes. क्या लिखता हूँ मैं? Edge first. Edge, phone, TVs, robots, browsers, all of this. Apple is already doing this. They have some on-device models already. Google is doing it. You have web LLM via web GPU. This, I feel, as a web developer, as a web engineer in my earlier avatar, I feel this is big, because you don't want whoever is releasing the new AI browser reading all your browser history. I mean, take the most obvious case out of your mind for a second. Even then, you wouldn't want someone to go through your browser history, or what pages you are seeing, what you are doing, things like that. It's very, very private, right? No? Yes. Oh, wow. Such response. So that there the privacy held. And even if you take the very, very obvious case out, right? Even then, the privacy of your browsing history is important, and what you are seeing, where you're spending time when you're scrolling, where you are paying attention, all of those things, you can't trust these big codes to start exploiting you at that level. I mean, that's what people want, but you don't want, right? Edge isn't an experiment, is the new platform. Again, same thing. Let's quickly talk about agentic AI. I've been doing this research. I shouldn't call it research because you guys are real researchers here. I've been doing this exploration for quite some time. And few days back, I saw a paper floating across the internetverse, which actually put a lot of validation. As humans, we all crave validations. We have our own RLHF method. Base model को fine tune करना पड़ता है. You agree with me? Yes, +2. You agree with me? +2. So my base model is getting trained. Ki, haan, theek hai, now I'm saying the right thing. Right? I mean, there is another hypothesis I'm working on. Maybe in the next talk, we will talk about it, is how we are also like LLMs. Somewhere. That very crazy thought process. Coming to this. Agentic AI. So a paper came flowing which said, and this is from NVIDIA, that agentic SLMs or small language models are the future of agentic AI. And I feel like, bola tha na main. ठीक है, I'm working with a professor to publish some of my research work. And I pinged him and I said, sir, did you see this paper? And like, yeah, Tanay, it was good. You went early into this, so good investment that way. So this says an agent is not a chatbot. It has, like, think of a real agent. Not that travel plan, booking, come on, that book my calendar. These are not agents. It takes 5 minutes to book your calendar, come on. They're very, very shoddy and bad examples of what agents can do. Agents can and should resolve internal cohesion problems and not book your flight. Like, how many of us take so much flight? Kisko itna flight book karna hai? Who wants to buy a shoe via agent? Shopping is so personal, wo to rehne do, right? So this is what they want. In a defined environment, go find out the best solution, act on it. Call a tool, which is called tool calling, call a tool, and then act on it. That's all it is. So NVIDIA folks, they argue that this workflows repeat and SLMs can come as specialist modules here. So if you want to read one paper, two paper out of this whole talk, please read the Tiny Stories one. I really like that paper. It's very, very non-technical. It's very interesting how they have done the entire work. And then this paper, the NVIDIA paper. Beautiful paper, 10 pages only, very nicely argued, counter-argued, very well done. So they are saying SLMs are the future of agents because it's safer, it's cheaper, and then now they introduce another word here in our vocabulary, composable. So you can train an SLM for billing, for customer success, customer support, IT issues, payment issues, all of those you can have into multiple SLMs, and there could be an agentic router which is routing it to the right SLM to resolve. That's what they are arguing. That's what I think has a lot of future. Okay, no pressure. Costs drive shift, 7 billion. Again, same thing, latency and energy drop, making agents more affordable, and maybe doing a better job than LLMs in this regard. SLMs adapt fast, yes. Not one giant model, but many small experts. Is the architecture, NVIDIA guys, and I'm also saying, this could be another architecture towards expert language models. So we should name SLMs to expert language models rather than small language models. But that's a branding problem here in SLMs, actually. India's frontier in, we can't outspend US or China. Ab jo hai reality, so hai. What can we do about it? GPU and data center gap is too wide. Folks, this side, please nod. Yes, we all are struggling with this. Invest your attention, your talent, your tooling. We don't need billions, we don't need millions, we need brains. और वो हमारे पास बहुत है. Buddhi, जुगाड़. These are our words. We have that. And that's all I'm saying. Build some muscle, even on a weekend. Try doing this, try fine-tuning, deploying, do some eval, ship some model, not just code. Ship some SLM pieces. That will build muscle. This was a great lesson. We did something on budget of a Hollywood movie, Gravity, which others couldn't. So it's not like we haven't done this. It's not like it's not in our genetic code that small can win, right? Oh, Elon Bhaiya is taking a trip to Mars. Okay, no problem. We can still do our own space explorations. This is also a space exploration. It's just in an n-dimensional space, right? Right, guys? Huh? This is another very, very big thing. 3 decades of IT leadership we had. Like, I mean, Infosys uh, went public, I think, exactly 31 years, 32 years back. We had that leadership. Can we get into AI services leadership as well? I mean, you do your SOTA, you do your AGI, maro kato mujhe kya. But if you want to do real work, if you want to see performance gains in production, come to India, we'll deliver this, powered by SLMs. Opportunities are everywhere, whether it's education, health, finance, law. India is world's deployment lab, built for India and export to world. Because you will have the other good piece about this is, as Indians, we have a lot of data generation capacity. Go to any Twitter thread, go to any Instagram reel, see how much data we generate, right? We are the data generation powerhouses, so we can even generate this curated data set at very low cost. Jokes aside, the data set curation, the RLHF training piece, in India we can do at 1/10 of the cost. So we can actually lead SLM from both ends, from data curation and from our brain power. The only constraint which was GPUs is kind of no more. Okay, time's up. Sorry. Stop waiting for AGI, start building with SLMs. Small is strategic. I would say SLM should be named to either expert language model, efficient language models, or if Indians take it forward, we should name it to ILM, this intelligent language model, or Indian language model. Why not? Why not? That's all. I'm just one coffee away. This is my email ID. This you should note down, right? If any of you found this interesting, you want to talk about, you are working on these kind of problems, I'm happy, and I don't need the costly coffee. Darshani coffee, मेरे को तो filter coffee best लगता है भाई. 20 rupees में full पैसा वसूल. We can have 2 cups and we can talk about it. And that's all from my side. Thank you so much. थोड़ा और जोर से बजा सकते हो यार. Thank you.